You're listening to the ESO Network, your station for all things geek.
Ian, look at this.
What, it's a police box. What on earth's he doing here? I mean, these things are usually on the street. I feel it. I feel it. You feel it?
Faint vibration.
It's alive.
Earth Station Who, a fun mashup exploring over 60 years of the Doctor Who universe. Hold on tight. You never know where the crew of the TARDIS is going next.
Hey there, Whovians, and Happy New Year, and welcome to the newest episode of Earth Station Who. We've got a holiday special to talk about, a Christmas special, exactly. We're talking all about joy to the world. And, you know, the newest episode, supposedly the last episode of Doctor Who written by Stephen Moffat.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Right.
And by last, you mean most recent.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Exactly.
Pretty much, yes.
Exactly. No, Mike, you said it perfectly there. It's
Not to be confused with final.
final. I didn't say final. I just said last.
I don't think he did either.
Nope, exactly. So it's going to be interesting to talk all about Joy to the World. We will be spoiling the hell out of it.
Spoilers!
Please, you know, we definitely would love to hear from you guys. What did you guys think? Did you like it? Did you not? You know, overall, I've been hearing very positive things. I'm going to be very curious what my fine folks here have to say about it. But write us, please. Feedback at earthstationwho.com. We do have a little bit of mail to talk about, but we'll do that at the end of the episode. And we have a great crew here to talk all about this. Let's welcome our guest tonight. Dave Chapman is back. Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Welcome back, sir. It's been a little bit.
It has. I'm glad to be back, though.
Yeah, it's always nice to have you, and happy holidays, sir.
Happy holidays.
But let's say hi to our regulars. Of course, Mary Ogle is here.
Hi, everybody. It is fantastic to be here.
And Mr. Mike Gordon.
Howdy. Happy New Year.
And, of course, the camera girl herself, Melanie Dean.
I am a consummate professional, damn it. I found a camera. So I'm trying to look it up and be sneaky about it, but apparently I'm not doing that. But hi, everybody. I'm so happy we're going to be talking about the Christmas special.
Yes.
Awesome.
So we've had a week just about to, you know, have this sink in, watch it and everything. So let's go around actually and see what everyone's initial thoughts are on this. All right, let's go for ladies first. Melanie, since you're having all the camera problems tonight, you're going to go first. What are your initial thoughts?
Now I'm just trying to step back now, since now I have a better camera, maybe.
Maybe.
Can you tell how horrible my hair is? No, I really like this episode. I mean, you know what? No, I take that back. I did not like this episode because I have made a steadfast rule that I am not going to watch any more Pixar movies because, no, you're not going to make me cry. I'm not paying money for people to let me cry. And 3 times I teared up on this damn thing. And I'm a robot, okay? I look over at my poor husband and he's just because he's the only human in the relationship. I was even like, yes. It got me in the feels, and it was
even androids can cry. It's wonderful.
I know, right? You'd think
it's wonderful.
have better tech, but anyway,
I
really
there you
this,
go.
and I set the bar low, and I enjoyed the heck out of it.
A 3 crier.
A 3 crier.
Well,
3. Yeah.
3 times.
Stephen Moffat would be so proud.
Oh,
Yes, he would. Mary, what about you?
I love this episode. I really enjoyed it. It was nice to see Stephen Moffat again. Yes, I'm a diehard Stephen Moffat fan, and damn it, I am unapologetic about it.
Okay.
And I really enjoyed it.
No, that makes
I will say, though, that it was not, it had very little about Joy and a lot about Anita, and I really liked Anita, so I was perfectly happy with that.
No, I actually have that in my notes that it felt like Anita was the true companion in the story more than Joy.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
And so it was really interesting to see. Mike Gordon, what about you?
I really appreciated this one as well. Yeah, it's always, you know, what I love about Stephen Moffat's writing, as far as particularly his Doctor Who writing, is that, and I've said this before many times on this podcast, and I'm going to say it again, and I'll say it again in the future. You can use the Time Hotel to check it all out, but nobody in the history of this franchise writes time time travel stories like Steven does. Like
Yeah.
nobody does. Like that is his what that's the thing that he brings most to Doctor Who to me. And so I'm always, and he's always managing to come up with some clever thing, a clever way of using time. And even within, like, the concept of the time hotel itself is one thing, but that's not enough for him, because then he's got things that he's doing in, like, within that structure as well. I mean, it's very, very layered. But again, he doesn't forget about character either. And as Melanie said, there's moments in here that are really emotional, between Joy, Anita, the Doctor. Like, I mean, poor Trev. Like,
Poor Trev. Poor Trev.
I mean, there's just like, I mean, it's just like he manages to do so much with so little. I think, it's only an hour, not even an hour long, and you can get caught up in it. It's not the best Christmas special I've ever, if you want to compare it to others, like you said before, like we'll do. But I think Stephen had a purpose in his mind to do another Christmas episode, because he wasn't satisfied with the last one or two that he done. He felt like he had one really good one in him. And I think he knocked it out of the park here. I think he's delivered.
No, I agree with that. I agree with that completely. It's gonna be fun getting into this one. Dave, what do you think?
I really enjoyed it. Is it the best ever? No, but I still loved it, like every minute of it. It was a great episode, not just a great Christmas special. I would say it's a great episode, and it sets up a lot of great things for the future and a few Easter eggs of what might happen in the future too.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited for this and for the next season because of it.
No, I agree completely. Like the rest of you guys, I love this one. I thought it was a lot of fun. The first time I watched it, I had to percolate on it a little bit. I had to go afterwards. Judy was like, "What did you think? Did you like it?" I said, "I enjoyed it. I liked it." Did I love it the first time? No, I did not. But, and no, I'm not a robot like Melanie is, but, I did like seeing Shooty was amazing in this. I loved Moffat's writing. I liked, and he stole some of the tropes he's done in the past. No doubt about it. Stuff with Villain Guard and such, and we'll get into that. But on the second viewing, I liked it a lot more. And even on the third viewing, I so became enthralled that I wanted to see Anita travel with the Doctor. I think, and that's a question I wanted to ask you guys. Does she now count as a companion, or does she just, count as, just the companion that wasn't type thing?
She didn't go on the TARDIS.
That's true.
She did not step on the TARDIS.
Neither
She
did
has a
Joy.
little TARDIS.
Yeah.
She was given a TARDIS.
She has a little toy TARDIS.
But I mean, that's the beauty of her and that relationship, is that she's not on the TARDIS. I mean, within this whole crazy thing that Steven sets up and all of the stuff that's going on, all the madness, all of a sudden, like about halfway through the episode, he just takes a break. And it's almost like the Doctor himself taking a break in his life, to just chill, to chill for a year with this character Anita. And it doesn't mean anything to the whole run of the episode of what's going on, the plot wise or whatever. It's just a complete break. I think it has themes, as Dave was saying, that it's thematic because it leads to other things, but it's just a really nice companionship that they share, which you don't usually see very often. And it's just really nice. And Steven, with all the other crazy stuff that he's got going on, he puts this in there, and it's just, I mean, that's really the most joyful part of this whole story, which is ironic because it's not joy, right? I mean, and I don't mean to dismiss anything that Nicola as Joy does, because I think she's awesome as well. And there's some moments of emotion with her too, but that stuff with her, the Doctor and Anita, is just, it's just gold for, especially for a long time Doctor Who fans, because you don't see the Doctor do this very often.
No, you got to see the Doctor live day after day after day in order, like he said in this episode. He says, I usually don't, live the same way you do and live a daily life. I jump around to different points and everything, which is awesome.
Even when he has done that, I mean, when he was the third Doctor stranded with UNIT and stuff like that, even when he was doing that, he wasn't waiting tables and cleaning toilets.
I loved when he had the plunger and he says,
Plunger.
Oh, that was so wonderful.
The look of fear in his eyes.
He's
like, great.
That's Shooty selling it. It's a silly, stupid joke, but it works because Shooty is so. Shooty is great. I mean, he holds amazing. This whole thing together, and it's just, he can do no wrong, really. He's just amazing.
And he plays really, really well off of himself in that one
literally.
Yeah, literally. And it was wonderful to see. And, I liked it because it was like the first time I saw it and watched it, I was like going, so where did the number come from? And it came from the Doctor. It's a circle of a loop and everything. And that's the cool thing. It's such a Moffat thing the whole time.
And that's one of the things, I don't mind it, but it drives people crazy. That's one of the Moffat tropes that drives people crazy, is because
that's not even a Moffat trope. That's a Doctor Who trope. The bootstrap paradox has been around a long time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but Steven just kind of waves at stuff and just says, yeah, that's okay. It's not really, what's important here. So, and we know Russell's done it too. And yes, you're right. It's not like that uncommon, but I will find, if people target, because he works so much with time travel and there's so many different versions of time travel, there's a lot of people who don't appreciate, Steven's, I don't want to say interpretation, because he takes them all and he works with them all. And yes, they don't make sense, but time travel doesn't make sense. And this is fiction, people. It's okay if it doesn't make sense.
It's not real life, folks. Get over it.
So. And even if you look online, there's a lot of people complaining about this, as you'd expect, but he even explained it in the episode. Like, there's so many of these little bits that bootstrap paradox, and this is why it didn't matter, moves on.
Right.
There was a lot of those drive-by comments that I missed, a lot of people miss on their first watch, and then they're like, what? This is insane! But he literally said XYZ.
Right.
Why? But yeah, this was one of Shuty's best outings as a Doctor. I would argue possibly his most doctory of them.
I could see that very much.
That's a pretty good observation. I think he's really comfortable in the role, and I think he's being written as such now. People are writing. I mean, I think it was before they were, but they didn't really know him as well. But now he's had a season under his belt. And I think it's, we'll see what happens when Russell takes over for the second season. But I mean, Shuty's got it down. Like, he just knows. He just knows. He knows who he is as the Doctor. And
I'm seeing a little bit of Sylvester in him.
Ooh,
a little bit
from this episode, because he just went from happy-go-lucky to manipulating you with a smile.
Yes,
he just fell into that so naturally, which is so opposite what he's been trying as the Doctor to go for.
Right.
He's trying to avoid that side of his personality and his tendencies, but he just slipped into it so naturally, and it was so well done. And then he comes out and is like, oh, I'm so sorry. Totally heartfelt. But just seeing him do that was kind of just creepy.
Oh, it was wonderful seeing him manipulate Joy, getting
Mhm.
her angry at him. And, the whole thing about, how, you know, she, no one wants to be around her. Oh, Joy, it's, everyone's, joking about her name and about, even your mom doesn't want to be around her. Oh, and then she lit up because you found out the backstory. It was interesting because people were saying, is it too soon to be talking about people dying from COVID and
Of course,
everything?
it's not too soon.
No.
That's a
No,
reality that
exactly.
happened.
It did happen.
We
And,
should be talking about it. That should be,
and
that's a part of the fabric of our lives now. And I
you
think
guys
to
ready?
deny that does a real disservice to people who lost people during COVID. I
Oh,
couldn't visit
completely.
my mom during COVID.
Yeah.
She was in the hospital for a while, then she was in a rehab home. We stood outside the window and waved at her. It
Mhm.
was, people really went through that. So I'm so glad that Stephen Moffat went there. I because you don't see it very much in
No,
anything.
exactly.
And so it was really nice that he said, "I'm just going to go there and face reality."
Well, exactly. And that was interesting too, because I've so many people, lost loved ones during COVID, and people are trying to block that out and try to not associate with it. It's crazy because, we're about to go into 2025. In March, it's going to be 5 years already since the lockdown happened. And it's crazy with that. And I think they handled it really well. And, it was, it was very well done, especially with Joy's mom at the end, I thought.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was nice that they circled back to that.
I'm glad
And
they
then-
did. Yeah.
Mhm.
And there was definitely it was another one of those very British moments too, because she referenced, the politicians having their parties, which happened less on our side of the pond, but that was a big giant scandal over there, was Boris
with
having
Boris.
his giant
Parties,
parties.
yeah.
Oh, big time.
While everyone else was locked up at home.
Mm-hmm.
Basically,
So-
they were thumbing their nose at us and everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But it was, I like that. What did you guys think of the Time Hotel? I want to get your take on that.
First time I
Someone
saw
suggested there's going to be a spin-up. There could be a spin-off from that, and I would love to see that. If not a spin-off, I would love to see next year's Christmas special.
Big Finish
also
series.
be there.
Mm-hmm.
When they first showed the lobby, I was like, man, this looks like a Next Generation set. I mean, it's so pristine and clean and precise, and I mean, it just looks like the people who designed the Next Generation Enterprise were working on this, or Orville, if you will. But I mean, yeah, it's cool. I know that the Doctor's never really been a big fan of other time travelers or time agencies. So I did find it interesting that he was really cool with this concept. It just goes to show you how Ncudi's Doctor is a little different than other incarnations. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun concept. I don't know if I didn't put that much energy into it, to be honest with you. I believe that we are I find out later that, Anita, and we're assume that she takes a position there at the end, that her last name is some sort of Easter egg to a series of novels or something like that. And I was just like, I don't care. Like I just want it to be Anita. Like I don't want her to be a reference to something. I don't want her to be an Easter egg, right? I want her to be, because I mean that's the
You
problem.
want her to be a person.
Right. That's what,
Oh, exactly.
Stephen kind of has that problem sometimes where he does kind of go overboard a little bit with that. So
A Doctor Who showrunner that goes overboard? No way.
with things like that. So yeah, but I mean it's a cool concept, and I think, to the point though, I think that Stephen used it really, really well, and in a way that was unexpected here. So I like that. The fact that the kitchen is in the future, so like right after you order it, boom, it's right there. Like that was great. That was awesome. Yeah.
But I love the little comment they did. Oh, it's 30 minutes in the future. It's still microwaved.
Can't expect miracles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
This is
hotel.
needed
What do you
4,000, you know.
want?
Yeah.
It's the nuance for humanity, like that, like the human condition of the doctor being able to see how the first guy with the suitcase, and that's the first time he's here, and he's not looking up, which is something anybody who usually goes into a new hotel, you the first thing, especially if you have an atrium that high with that many stories, you walk up and you're going to look up. I just
Oh,
thought that was such a
exactly.
neat thing where the doctor has that perceptive to realize something's really off with this man because he's not enjoying the
Well,
aesthetics of
exactly.
this.
When I used to live in New York City, we used to joke about it. You could always tell who the tourists were because the tourists were looking up at the buildings and everything. All the locals, boom, they just go on with their day. They're used to it. It's and everything.
I thought it was a really
And
fun moment too, where the doctor like doesn't realize what he notices. Like he goes in, he starts putting on his jacket, starts getting his Sonic, and he's like, "Why am I doing this? What did I notice?" Like that was a really, really fun scene.
Yeah,
Like he's
that
like,
was
it's
great.
like the doctor sort of catching up to it. Like it's so automatic with him now. I mean, he's gone. Like he is so old, and he's done this so often that his body just knows what to do sometimes before his brain does. I just love that because you know when he says something because he says something about something else like habit, force of habit when he gets the two cup
Yeah.
mugs instead of one, right? Well,
mhm.
there's a lot of like force of habit going on there, which I thought was funny because he looks
Oh,
so tired. There's a big like Douglas Adams Hitchhiker's Guide vibe when he comes out of the TARDIS in his bathrobe and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah.
I
it
really
must
got
be
that
Thursday. It has to be Thursday.
exactly.
Yeah.
I got that vibe from there, which was kind of nice.
Now that was really awesome. I loved that when and Reg walks up to him and he's like, "Oh, is that your loo?" You know, it's like going to, is that your bathroom? It's like you got, it's like, who takes a cup of coffee into the bathroom with them? It's like, well,
Yeah.
anyway, so it's kind of, it was a lot of fun. And I liked how, Trevor and the doctor were playing off of each other. I thought it was really nice. And the
Mhm.
chemistry there was really good and everything. And it was nice seeing, the actor because I've seen him in, Joel Fry. He was in, Our Flag Means Death.
Mhm.
He's also been in Yesterday. He's been in so many
Game
different,
of Thrones.
yeah, Game of Thrones. Exactly. So it's interesting to, see, these him in Doctor Who finally, and
Mhm.
I was like disappointed they killed him off in the first 10 minutes of the show, and it was just like,
That was
what?
the first misty part where I realized that the thing came off and then it went on to him and I was like, oh,
Yeah.
and that he felt so bad that he had a mission and that he was going to do something and that he was going to fail it. And I'm like, my heart was breaking for him.
Moffat.
But there
Yeah,
was
not
such
that.
great, yeah, I mean, that's just, I think the reason the story works, it's not really, has nothing to do with plot, which it usually doesn't with Stephen Moffat. It's the character moments. And it's
Mhm.
Trev. I mean, you fall in love with Trev in like the first 5 seconds. There's just something endearing about his awkwardness, and
He's a puppy dog.
the actor's really selling it. And so when, like you just said, he dies very quickly, but you care. I
Oh,
mean, you
Yeah.
very
are
much so.
invested in Trev
Yeah,
almost
he's the third one to
immediately.
die, but you don't care about the other two as much as you care about Trev.
No.
Yeah, you get to
Yeah.
know Trev in those few seconds. And I think that's why Anita stands out to me more than Joy. You get to know a lot more about
Oh yeah.
Anita than
Yes.
you do. Joy is actually to me, Joy was kind of underused, and that might be a slight criticism I have of this episode.
Hmm.
You just didn't get to know her in the same way, and so it didn't necessarily have the same impact at the end that it might have otherwise if you had gotten to know her better.
Joy was only in this episode for like 15 minutes total.
She was in it. I mean,
Mhm.
time wise, screen
Yeah.
time, she's in it more than Anita is.
But
It,
she
it
just
feels
does
like,
not make. I'm not sure
yeah,
I would
exactly.
say that.
You wouldn't say that, but it's an illusion because it feels like because a lot of
It
times
feels
what
like
she's not
Anita's
in
in
it
it
with
for a year, you know?
she's not because she doesn't do anything of substance for a long time, like
Mhm.
a lot of times.
Mhm.
Whereas everything with Anita is like right there, and that because it's only that sequence with the Doctor and Anita is only like maybe 6-7 minutes tops.
But
So
it
I mean, it's
packed it
not
in there.
it's
The
not
Like
that
impact.
long. Like
It's
it
the
she's
packed it
not
in
impact.
in
there
it.
Right.
like the
She
beginning of
really isn't
Up.
in it that much. Anita's like in it, more than that. But we don't, and we do learn a lot about Anita. I mean, about Joy. We learn about her mom, her relationship, et cetera, et cetera. And we learn, through the Doctor's meanness, which I mean, he's got her pegged. That's that. Oh man, one of those nice things where he says that makes you think too, where he's like, you can learn a lot about a person by what hotel room they have, their hotel room, their choice of hotel room. And I just thought that was a really interesting idea that he kind of fleshed out. I don't know if it holds up completely all the time, but I did think that was pretty interesting. Just like I don't know if the concept of there's always a locked room in a hotel room. Like, I mean, I know I've stayed in a lot of hotel rooms that have locked rooms. 9 times out of 10, they just go to the room next door. Like, that's
Well,
not.
no, that's where you think they
There you
go.
go.
But they don't go to a brick wall, is what I'm saying. They don't, like, they're not just there to be there. But
Again, that's
I
your
If I was building a hotel,
perception.
it would be.
Oh, yeah. I always
but I
loved it. Is there another room in this hotel that has, a door like this? And it said, "Oh, the honeymoon suite."
Yeah, but you see, the difference is the relationship between the Doctor and Anita develops naturally. There's
Yeah.
a lot of the Doctor telling Joy things,
Sure.
telling Joy she is this,
Yes.
rather
Yes.
than us really learning about who she is. And I think that lessened the impact
Well, I
for
mean, the
me.
way it's written, the Joy gets taken pretty quickly, so it's
Now, the
not
actress is
really.
good, though. And
Yes,
this is nothing
absolutely.
against the actress.
Yes, and
Yes.
and I think the emotional beats are there because when he's mean to her, and when she finally breaks down, I think that's a very tearful moment. And the scene with her, where she's reunited with her mom at the end, I think is pretty tearful.
Yeah,
So,
those were
I mean,
both good
there
moments.
are some moments there that still resonate, even though she's used quite differently. And I think, I don't want to get too much into it, but I know that Stephen is often pegged for not writing women characters very well, but I don't think that's very fair of him. And I think if you use this as an example, I think you'll find that he's just fine when it comes to female characters.
I really like how he had Anita the goodbye between the two of them. Like she knew that the Doctor was leaving and that that he was going to be here for a year. So she already knew when he was booked when he was going to leave. But
Right.
that having even that time together, they would showcase them working together, their chair time, which was them playing and having fun. They're having their off work and at work, off work, all that kind of stuff. How they were relaxing on. I love them relaxing on the catwalk and just looking at the sun with their little daiquiris and just we're just enjoying the sun. It's okay.
Exactly.
But the bitter, it was so bittersweet between the two of them, but you knew that both knew this is what they were headed towards. And I
Sure.
loved the hug, and I love the fact that they hugged twice. Just that, this is the goodbye, and this is the final goodbye. And that to me it was a nice, and that was my second time. Just sad because I was really in this. I really wanted her as a companion, and I would make the argument for a year she was a companion, that she had her own. The microwave that was bigger on the inside. Her car became a TARDIS because he did some jiggery pokery to her sat nav, and
I
that it would
love
tell her
that.
where she
It took
needed to
her where it
go.
needed to go. I
And
love
then it
that.
became, well, then when did it become blue? I
Yeah.
loved that.
Yeah.
And then he left her with a little TARDIS. So, and again, I make the argument that we know that he stayed with her for a full continuous year. That's probably more time, more days than, FaceTime with other companions. Even though, yes, we see
Yeah,
seasons, but I mean,
Yeah.
12 episodes, 12 days, maybe.
I mean, I
That's
agree. I actually always thought that it was pretty arbitrary to when people started saying that the only way you could be a companion is if you went on the TARDIS, because I don't think that necessarily has anything to do with it in regards to the relationship the Doctor could have with somebody. And so
Right.
there's no reason why Anita couldn't be considered a companion, in my view, and for the same reasons that Melanie just stated. I mean,
Yeah. It's interesting too because he was in London and Unit was there, and why didn't he, you know, go off to Unit to help out or something? Instead, he spent the year at the hotel.
Because
And
his future self told him that he had to go the long way around, and he had
right,
to figure it out. And I think the doctor knew that the answers that he wanted, that he needed, were not going to come from there. And I am confused as to why he was there for a year, and then he goes to New York and gets in the hotel room there to access the hotel again, which I didn't understand why. Like this, even the second time, that didn't make sense to me. I was just like, why isn't he just
it
at the
was
same? Like, I didn't get that.
it
But
wasn't guaranteed that it was going to open in 2025 into that room.
how did he know it was going to open at the hotel at the Exeter in New York?
He had the brochure for it. He you know, he
Ah,
had he had the brochure for the
I
hotel
missed
at
that.
Christmas
So good call.
2025 right on
Yeah,
top.
good call. I missed
I,
that.
I I did ask Judy. It's like, how do you know which room it was? That's a whole different. They need to go through every single one of the rooms.
Yeah, well, that's fair. That's
Yeah,
fair. But I also think what makes the Doctor and Anita's relationship and that scene, so those sequences, so special, and it's so fun, is that she's not a companion. Well, I mean, in terms of, she's not a traditional sense companion. Like, I
right.
don't want to see her join the TARDIS crew and start fighting Daleks or Cybermen or get kidnapped by Silurians. I don't want to see any of that. Like, it's nice that he has friends outside of work. You know what I mean? Like, like it's
He
nice
has
that he can
business
just.
friends and he has work friends, basically.
Exactly. It's sometimes you just need to like kind of chill with people. You need to take a break from everything and just chill with someone. I think a lot of us have had relationships like that, and you kind of know that they're not long standing, but you enjoy them for what they are, and they're really special in that time of your life. And it's really kind of interesting. You don't see that on in fiction that often, and it was really nice that it was included here. So I don't want to make anything more of it, though. I don't want to see her like in other episodes. I don't want to make her a thing. I just want to have this nice little moment that we had with her and just let it be.
I agree completely with that. I think let her be. I don't care if we ever see her again. She's a one and done character. I would love that.
Yeah, I was
And
almost disappointed that she was at the end. It was going to be part of the Time Hotel, because I was like, oh, that means we're probably going to see her again. And I'm like, and they're going to make her a thing. They're going to make her a, like, it's just like, like, you know, I don't know. It just seems like they couldn't just let it go. They couldn't just have it just be that moment.
well, the hotel is definitely hiring. They lost 3 of their employees.
Yeah, I mean, they're dropping like flies.
That's
Exactly.
true. That's true.
And
I know that there's a need there.
that's when I knew, for me, I think that was the moment where I knew the doctor was telegraphing that he was being intentionally mean to Joy, because we just had a scene of him being heartbreakingly compassionate to the Silurian who was dying. And that
Yes.
he's, how did you get here? What did you do? Da, 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 da. Focus on this. Tell me the story. Blah, 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 blah. And that was, again, just so sad. And then him being quickly, I mean, he does not know this man. And he's just so, so, so compassionate. And then other side of the coin, he's being just bitter, mean towards Joy. I'm like, wait, what's going on here? What's going on here?
The first time I watched that, I was like, man, he's really letting into her. And I just was like, man, you don't see the doctor do this very often. And granted, it's for a good reason. And I love the line where she says, like, he says that, that probably wasn't the best way to save you, but there's no bad way when it comes to saving people.
Mhm.
And I like that line as well. But I noticed the second time I watched it, before he like goes off on her, she's in the forefront and she's in the foreground and he's in the background, and he kind of goes like he's got to prepare himself for getting
Right.
mean. And I
Exactly.
really, really love that. Like he takes a moment and he's like, all right, I got to do this. And I just love the fact that we see him prepare for that.
Yeah, I missed that
Very much
completely.
so. No, it was
Yeah, I'll
interesting
have to look
too,
for
but
that.
and it was one of the things noticed, when the people got handcuffed to the briefcase, their eyelids changed.
They flutter.
When, yeah. And instead
you.
of going, horizontally, they went vertically. And there was nothing, no explanation for that at all. But it was just, because Villengard, as we like to say, And,
even the dinosaur.
Even the dinosaur had that. I love that. Yeah. And
As it
funny.
swallowed it, all of a sudden its eyes went click, click, click. And I was like, yep, we know it's, I mean, that's just a sign of, how it,
Possession or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was interesting because I didn't notice it the first time, but the second time when Joy and the doctor went to the temple where the briefcase was stored, her eyes started glowing. I don't know if you guys noticed that.
Yeah, I noticed.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't notice it the first time. It was just like, whoa, so she basically was what the doctor said. You have a psychic connection because the link was broken and everything between you two.
Yeah. He said that. Yeah. He said he thought he broke the connection and that it wouldn't work. And that's why they needed Trev. But really, she's still connected to it.
Yep, exactly. And I thought that was pretty awesome. And it was just like, there was some really neat little things to notice and everything. Loved the person on the train in the Orient Express, and he was looking over, oh, this grammar is horrible, and it's like, and she said, oh, I wrote it,
You mean James Bond's girlfriend?
Exactly.
Yeah. That was Sylvia Trench. They can't say it on the show because that's copyright, because she's only in the movie, she's not in the books. But James Bond's girlfriend in the first two Sean Connery movies is Sylvia Trench, and that is that character. So that's who she's writing to. And so when he says, "Yeah, you're better than that," it's like, yeah, you should dump James Bond's ass.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that. It's a weird reference to put in there. A lot of setup for very little payoff there because you can't really let people know, but it's a weird thing to include.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't need to. That's the joy of some of these Easter eggs, right? Is it's
true.
You don't want it to be
every Easter egg doesn't need to be smacked in your face, like you said, Dave, or explained. If you know.
Let's go visit Star Trek.
Exactly.
No, let's not.
Let's not.
I mean,
we did.
He's got any time in human history to choose from, and as like a sort of gags, and it is interesting the ones that he selects. World War II in Manchester, the bombings there, and then of course
Mount Everest with Edmund
Mount
Hillary.
Everest, with the Edmund Hillary, Sir Edmund, before he was Sir, I guess.
He wasn't Sir yet.
I like the door that had the hobbit hole. Then he had little tiny hobbit steps.
I noticed that. I yelled it to Judy. It's like, did you see the hobbit hole? And she says, oh, and everything. And the Julius Caesar room, and or how the Leaning Tower of Pisa room was angled,
was leaning,
and everything.
Yeah,
there was some great stuff.
One of the set builders said originally they were trying to get a holodeck door in there as well, and it just kind of it's not that it got removed so much as it just never
appeared on camera
to happen, which was kind of an extra little bit of a
fun
wink
one. Nudge, yeah.
And did you catch the Madame Vestra almost Easter egg when he was visiting London? They're like, oh, I know some people over there. Oh, a woman. Oh, two of them actually, and referencing. And it's been very specifically said, no, they were actually talking about Madame Vestra there.
Oh, wow.
And just kind of in some of the editing, it got less clear, but it was still there.
Oh, gotcha. So, and when Basil and Hilda were talking?
Yeah.
Yes.
Basil, sorry.
Basil.
It's the English pronunciation. I know I didn't catch that at all. I just thought that was just a weird reference, but
and it's funny, at least he didn't go, and they had a potato with him,
Yeah, that would have been, I guess, too on the nose.
That would have been too, yeah. But there was some really neat little things in this, and I overall, it moved very quickly. It was not a slow dragging episode at all. And which I liked. And there was Shooty, like you said earlier, he is so fitting into the role of the Doctor. This is his strongest performance of the Doctor, I think. The ending, we might as well hit it right on the head, with the Star of Bethlehem, it's just like,
I actually wish they had not gone there.
they didn't even need to put Bethlehem year one. And
yes, we all got the reference.
Everybody would have known.
Yeah, but
that was the biggest problem is they put year one.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. I didn't like year one. I think they should have said Bethlehem. If they wanted to put Bethlehem because they did it for everybody else, fine.
Yes.
I got what they were. I got what they were putting out there, but yeah, I didn't like the year one. I'm like,
well,
he does he references it at the beginning.
Yeah, I was about to say
no wonder
that's exactly.
Yeah, no wonder there was no room at the inn, which is kind of a fun joke. And then it kind of, But I mean, I don't know. I kind of liked it just because a lot of the Christmas ones have been so focused on the folklore around Santa, and not the true meaning
folklore
of Christmas, if you will,
around Bethlehem.
Yeah, and not the folklore around the actual birth of Christ, like Christmas, like that, like so. I kind of thought that it was kind of nice to put that in there.
No, exactly. And
I thought it was fair game.
They need to hit us over the head with it, though. That was the thing. And so,
they could have hit us a lot harder.
Him,
so.
Yelling out joy to the world was kind of like, okay, to me that was what was too much. Like I'm like, that was a little okay. We got it.
At least they didn't make the Doctor the drummer boy or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Weird. There's weird. I didn't know there were weird pagan temples underneath Bethlehem.
Oh, you would be surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
But
that's a whole nother episode for a different podcast, right there. Yeah.
I just find that it's really kind of like Mary was saying about the lockdown and COVID things. I just like the fact that this franchise is not afraid to go there, whereas other franchises won't touch a lot of that stuff, just because sensitive parties, etc. This franchise is like, nope, anything is game, anything is fair game.
Right. No, I agreed, and I think that's what made it interesting. There was a lot to like about this, and I'm glad we got to watch this and to see. And, the whole thing with Joy becoming one with the star, it's just like, okay, I kind of figured something like that was going to happen. So, but at least, Villengard is nothing, as she was like going, type thing. And, she will, we've won, Doctor, blah, blah, blah. Humanity is saved, blah, blah, blah. So, and I don't want to make it sound like I didn't like it. I loved it. So, it was a good watch. And, more and more, this is definitely something that I will go back and rewatch. There's some of the Christmas specials that were kind of painful to watch after a bit. And everything.
Yeah, we reviewed a bunch of them, last year, the year before?
I think it was
last year.
I mean, it's always
we definitely did one of them last year.
Yeah.
It's
really? Which one was that?
It's a toss-up, with some of them.
Control one? No.
But I thought this one was pretty strong. So.
No, very much so. All right. Any final thoughts before we go ahead and rate this one?
Evil must logo. There's my final thought.
That was a great
line.
It was such a great line as evil must logo. And I'm like, yep, that's true. They must have branding.
Exactly.
Yeah, the fact that the villain of this whole story is like a
briefcase
without
an
evil corporation without a face that's just automated. Like, yeah, that's relevant. That made up of the consciousness of all these like things it encounters. I mean, if that's not like code for AI. I don't know what is.
Yeah, it was very AI coded.
Oh,
Yeah.
very much so.
Yes.
Very, very much so.
Yeah.
But, who cares about humanity as long as there's a profit involved with it? So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
that's,
they
and that's the thing.
respect the innocents that are about to be sacrificed. Sure.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
I'll
Well,
be okay
what
if
am-
AI does have some of those conscious nuances like Trev, where he was still in there going, I'm going to help. I'm going to still do this. I've calculated it's going to happen in 4.5 million years. Trev, can you read that again? And him just stopping and looking up, going, 4.5
4 and a half
minutes.
minutes. Yeah.
Lots of time.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, you might want to go to room 38, by the way. Oh, exactly.
Love it.
And so that was okay. One of the things, because even Judy brought it up, the whole thing with Trev and the coming up as the hologram and everything, that was right from Boom. That was the father, And
Yeah.
so,
Oh yeah,
Yeah, same
there
technology.
were several callbacks to Boom. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And it was just like, it's like they did that already, that the user, whoever got absorbed by it got,
But that was the
You know.
point because it's the same corporation and they're still
well,
doing
exactly. Their
everything
software
the
was the
same.
same.
Will they have learned next time? Will they have adapted?
That's the $1 million.
Borg this thing.
No, I doubt it. Because Doctor Who. All right, let's go ahead and rate this one. 1 out of 5 TARDISes. 1 being the worst, 5 being the best. Dave, you're the guest tonight. You get to go first.
I think I'm going to go for 4.25.
4.25.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Mr. Mike.
I'm going to go with 4.5, 4.25. I mean, I don't, I can't give it complete 5 stars, but man, it is. And there's moments in here that are like 10 TARDISes, right? There's
Right,
like,
of course.
so yeah, I guess if you're, just going to average it out, 4.25, 4.5. I'll go as high as 4.5.
Okay. Mary?
I think I'm gonna go 4.5 because it's especially for a Christmas episode. It was just a stellar Christmas episode. I tend to lower my expectations for Christmas episodes. But this one just to me just had it all. There's some little nitpicky things, but overall, and especially in its rewatchability, I think this is one I'm going to keep going back to a lot and finding new things to squee over. And so for that alone,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, Mel. What's yours?
I will have to go with a solid 4.5. I mean, there's parts where like to mimic Mike with there's parts where it's tens. It's perfect. It would be for me a 5. Like I want to go to that bar in that hotel room. That looked amazing.
Mm-hmm.
How just the aesthetics and everything of it was. But no, I mean, to me, this is on level. This to me was very similar to the Titanic episode during Ten's run. And that Joy even had.
Did you notice the music was the same as the Titanic episode at the beginning?
And to me, Joy and Astrid very much had the same ending. And there's parts of Astrid that if you split her up, she was kind of like Joy, kind of like I just forgot her name that I love. Oh,
Anita?
in this episode,
Anita?
Anita, thank you, because of the A. So to me, it's very on par. So I would go 4.5. And like as Mary said, this is going to be rewatchable. I could see me watching this one again next year in my Christmassy, getting in my Christmas mode. I'll probably add it to my repertoire.
Okay. I'm going to give this one, I'm going to do 4.25 like Dave, because I can't do a full 4.5. My reason it's pulled down a little bit, because I loved it. I've said that multiple times during the show. I just wish they didn't show so much of this episode at the Children in Need, and also in the trailer that they released. They showed the whole opening basically, and so I would have loved it if I could have been surprised with it. And
Well, there's a way to do that.
oh, stop it, Mike Gordon. I'm not even listening to that. So, but
I mean, that's on you. Don't blame the episode. Don't take a point off the episode for that.
No, I'm taking a point off the creators because I would have rather they've had like a trailer, like a true trailer of it or something, instead of showing the whole opening scene. And so, or the whole dinosaur scene. Because the effects for the dinosaur were wonderful. That was
were
really well done. And I hope they didn't blow the whole effects budget for the season on that dinosaur. Because, it was really, really well done. And I kept on going back, man, just think about even 10 years ago on Doctor Who, how the effects were and compared to how they are today. And we'll get into talking about the trailer. Well, exactly. The money situation.
Yeah.
They have money now, thank you, Disney. Thank you, Sony. And, so I think it's pretty cool stuff that we have with that. And I think we're in for a lot of fun. And, I'm looking forward to it. And like multiple folks on this episode have said, this episode is worth rewatching multiple times. And it definitely will be one that I'll go back to. It's not going to be something like the one where they try doing the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe episode of, with Matt Smith. I'd be happy if I never saw that one again, So
did anybody catch? Because I was trying to get it the second time, and I figured, well, I don't know what it says, but it seems like might be referring to the upcoming season, maybe, or something. But while the Doctor is with Anita during that year, when he's mopping the stairs, he's got a newspaper in his hand, and the headline says something about something in Marseille or something. And I was like, I can't imagine that would be just a throwaway. But I wondered if anybody else caught that.
I caught more about the fact that mopping wood.
I say, seems like no.
He was mopping wooden stairs. I noticed that.
Nobody noticed the newspaper. Everybody's paying attention to the mop.
Yeah, I was looking at the mop going, the Sonic doesn't work on wood. How is he mopping the stairs? And I went, okay, maybe the bottom of the metal.
Well,
that's where
Anita
I went.
is so laid back. She took everything that the Doctor was doing, like
in stride.
In stride. It's like if I saw somebody mopping and not the mop moving, it's like, okay, this is not Saucer's Apprentice. Exactly.
Thank you.
I mean, she. I mean, look, Anita's seen a lot of crap. Let's put it that way. I mean, if you are the front desk of a hotel, especially not a high end, well, I don't care what kind of end hotel. I mean, you've seen some stuff. So when she walks in and there's a Solarian and another, having a conversation, that's not surprising to her at all. She's just there to bring in the towels and get out of there.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. She brought toilet paper, towels. She was done. Bye.
Yep.
See ya. I don't care who everybody is.
Not the worst thing I've seen. I don't even.
This is not the craziest thing I've seen in this hotel.
No, not at all.
Exactly. And I have friends who've worked night shift at hotels, so they've told me some pretty amazing stories. So yeah, and it was the front desk was a real hotel. That was a legit place, and they had to do it. They didn't close. They had to do it between busy shifts and everything. They were had to do the filming there and everything.
It's not in London, but yeah, that's an actual hotel.
Yeah. So it's pretty awesome. All right. Trailer. What did you guys think? Wow. Everyone at once.
I'm excited. I mean,
let us shift real quick.
It was short. It didn't give away a lot. I'm excited for it. I love the pinstripe kilt and vest.
Mm-hmm.
And
we got
especially the still shots with that vest because that's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
But just as a whole, it's okay. We're getting more Doctor Who. Really, the contents were almost irrelevant.
I did like the one scene of that character coming out of the movie screen, the cartoon.
Oh, that was great. The way
that looked really good.
Yeah, climbing out of the screen.
There was a game that came out a couple years ago. It's called Cuphead, and it looked like the characters right from that. and which
I
was
thought
really
it
awesome.
looked like early Disney.
Well,
Mm.
it was
it
definitely
did.
like Merry Melodies, early Disney era, like
Yeah,
Steamboat
like
Willie
with
type stuff.
Oswald, right?
Pie
Yep,
eye.
exactly the eyes and everything, and that's what Cuphead was going for when they designed the characters for it, and was what was amazing about it. It would be even better if somehow that creature grabbed the doctor and pulled it in, and the doctor was animated. Wouldn't that be awesome?
As
I
long
mean,
as it's
shooting.
better
Internet
animation
will
than what we've
explode.
been getting with the animated ones.
That would just be like and everything.
Honestly, I thought the mop was Moffat baiting the internet.
Mhm.
Here's a blatant Mickey Mouse reference.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought that
And
too.
lose your mind, people. Bring it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
bring it
just
on.
waiting for them. Oh, look what he did for Disney.
Yeah.
But
Of
yeah.
course. Well, they can just like, hey, do you mind animating this for us real quick?
Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
No, I don't think so either. So it's a lot of fun. I think the trailer. I love seeing the new companion.
Yeah, she looks great.
Yeah.
Yes, and everything,
Looking
and
forward to it.
mhm. I'm looking forward to it, and I'll also wait to comment about that she might have a connection to an old Sarah Jane companion. So it'll be very interesting to see because Ronnie has the same last name as the new companion. So we'll see. It might be cousin, aunt, or something. Doctor Who's famous for that. Doing that type of thing. So it'll be very fun to see. No date. We don't have a date yet.
Yeah.
We also see Mrs. Flood.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
So let's.
Oh, you know how many rumors are there out there? Oh, Anita is really Mrs. Flood. That she becomes Mrs. Flood and everything. It's like
They've said that about pretty much every woman that's
Well, that's
yes,
of course.
there.
Every character.
Female, she has to be Mrs. Flood. So,
I don't think it's just narrowed down to females. I think it's everybody. A master
Exactly.
from the Valyard to everybody. Like, I mean,
I almost don't want to find out till like we get to Doctor 1617.
well, according to the internet, that's going to be in the next season or so. So it's like
right.
Entirely plausible.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, it is supposed to be winding up Ruby's story is next season, and that's clearly part of it.
You heard the rumor that that somebody was claiming, and that was cut from an interview that Shooty was saying is that he's going to be regenerating at the end of this next season. And it's like, oh please, God, the haters are so ridiculous.
It happens every time.
We also didn't mention because she's in the trailer, but she's in the episode itself, the Christmas
Ruby.
episode. We do see Ruby.
Yep.
We do.
Mm-hmm.
We
do.
And that was kind of nice.
Mm-hmm. And we also get, the doctor not, when he has the time, not going back to get in touch with his old companions or his old people. It's like, I want them to live their lives. I don't want to, it's like, Susan's right. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
As we all scream Susan again.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Well, I will be curious too. I didn't, watch the teaser trailer enough but the new TARDIS has to have chairs in it now, right? Like it has.
I didn't see
right?
I did not see it in the trailer. I did not see
but after this episode, right? After this episode, if nothing else, right? The new TARDIS needs a chair, at least one chair, right?
That should be the opening scene, the very first opening scene.
Is them on chairs?
There, and it's like on either side of the jukebox or something. Okay, yeah, that looks good. And then walk away and it never has to get referenced again.
I want to see him go into an IKEA and getting chairs. And
I can also get behind that.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just him on the floor and he's got all the parts to chairs and him just like getting angry and going, you know what? Because it doesn't Sonic would. And he's like, you know what? This is why I don't have chairs. Never mind.
We also in Joy to the World, we also got a Mavity reference too.
Oh, we did.
Yes. Oh, yes,
yes,
we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
We did. So, folks, we've got a lot to look forward to, and we're going to be coming back to you and talking all about the new season when it happens. And we have a lot of different stuff already planned, which is really, really cool. Mentioned earlier that we did get a email from one of our listeners. So I'm going to pull it up real quick. It is from Mazzy Kelly, and she's referring back to our reviews on the River Song episodes we did. And she wrote and said, "You asked for feedback, and this is what you will get. I enjoyed the podcast. However, I feel like it's too short for me to really understand the whole of the Doctor's and River's life together. A podcast of her diary entries, including bits we haven't seen on the show, would be brilliant, or even a published version of her diary. River Song is mine and many fans' favorite. We want more River Song. Thank you." Well, thank you. That was awesome.
They're going to get more River Song.
Yep, you are going to get more River Song.
Big Finish is doing more River Song, and we will get. I don't think we'll ever be caught up, but we'll get to all of it eventually.
We'll eventually get through the Diaries of River Song, and then we'll get to the Death and Life of River Song, which is the new series they have going on. And so I think it's going to be pretty awesome to see how they plan on doing it. And actually, RTD in a recent interview said, he's not saying that River will not be coming back sometime, and Alex has already said anytime. So
all that means nothing.
I know.
You know what? If he said anything else, it would still mean nothing.
That's the wonderful joy of Doctor Who and everything, and we love it. It's pretty awesome. Well, folks, if you made it this far into the video and the audio, why not like and subscribe? We'd really appreciate it. And we definitely would love to hear from you guys. Feedback at our station Who is the best way to get in touch with us. Thank you for everyone who's been supporting us this past year. 2024 has been a great year for us. We actually have a new companion with us, which is pretty awesome, And, technically she'll be with us for, a while until, her camera goes out again or something. Or she forgets a husband's birthday, or she'll have, all this other.
Or you just ban her again.
Well, no. Yeah. No, her and I have discussed it. It'll take a lot for her to get banned.
It just happened to be.
I believe in you, Melanie. I think you can still do it.
Yeah.
Yay!
I have faith in you, Melanie.
Mikey believes in me.
I do. I believe in you. I believe you could push those buttons.
You can definitely push those buttons. So, but folks, definitely thank you for everything. We do, we love you guys. And here's to a good 2025 and more Doctor Who. And we're getting a spinoff. They've done finished with principal filming and for the new spinoff. So everything seems to be A-okay with that and going forward. So I can't wait to see what happens. Let's thank our crew for this week for joining us. Mr. Mike Gordon, thank you so much as always, my friend.
And as always, it's been my pleasure. Not just this episode, but the entire season, the entire year. I am looking forward to more Who in 2025. And talking over with all of you.
Exactly. It's going to be a ton of fun. And Dave, thank you for guesting tonight.
Thank you for having me, as always. I'm looking forward to February when I get to see you guys in person again at Pensacon.
Yes,
excited for that.
Yeah.
And I'll be at MegaCon as well the week before that, so it's going to be a lot
every
of
person
Doctor
who's
Who-ness
been
for
in
me.
Doctor Who is going to be at that con.
Yep.
A little bit.
Yes. So anything you want to shout out about or promote?
You can always find me on The Legend of the Traveling TARDIS and, of course, The Rat Hole DOTCA on YouTube, or just therathole.ca is the website for all my gaming goodness. And occasionally you'll find me here whenever, they let me.
Exactly. It's like we'll put out a piece of cheese for the rat, so it's okay. It'd be perfect. And Mary Ogle, thank you as always.
Thank you. What a great episode this was to talk about.
And how did your show go? Did you sell all your pieces?
My show went fantastic. I almost sold out. I have one outlier, but I sold 5 paintings, and I was very happy about it. And It was a great show, great people at that gallery. If you're in the Tallahassee area, go visit Lemoyne Gallery. Lots of good shows coming up this year.
How long is your stuff going to be? How long is the show going till?
The show's over now.
It's over.
Yeah.
But they still have your one piece there.
They still have my one piece, which I have to go pick up.
So go get it, folks, before she goes get to pick it up.
She's like, I'm not in any hurry.
Exactly. She'll take the long way around to get there. And Mary Ogle, where can people find your artwork?
You can find me at maryogle.com or on Etsy at eVision Arts.
Excellent. And Melanie Dean, thank you for being the newest member of our crew. We love having you part of the show.
Thank you for the warm welcome to my new home in 2024. And here's to many more years of you having to deal with me and, kicking me off and then bringing me back and then kicking me off and then bringing me back and all that fun.
Oh yeah, it's fun.
Yeah,
it makes it, you're going to become the Kenny of our show, basically.
Oh, no.
Exactly.
Oh no, they kicked Melanie off again,
and she's back.
Bastards. No. So, where can they find your artwork?
Right now you can find me on Instagram at Pieces of Melee or at Diamond Tech Crafts. CRAFTS. That's my work one. Next up will be MegaCon, and I've applied for quite a few panels for both my stained glass and for Earth Station Who. So let's see what happens.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, awesome. MegaCon looks great this year. I was almost tempted to make the trek down to Florida if we weren't going to Pensacon the next week.
Well, yep.
Exactly.
I mean, it's on the way home at that point.
Well, exactly.
If you need to, I've got more than enough room at my Airbnb.
Hey, there we go. I think that it could be a lot of fun to see. But folks, we are going to be at Pensacon this year once again, and we have panels already lined up. So I think we're going to have 5 panels total that we're submitting for. If they'll be approved, that's a whole different story, but it's always part of the fun. But Pensacon is a great show, and it's at the beach, folks. Win-win right there. So it should be a ton of fun. So we'd love to see you guys. As always, thank you guys for listening and joining us. My podcast, you could find me, of course, here on Earth Station Who, but I also produce the Tales from Hollywoodland podcast. And also I can announce that I am also producing Julian Schlossberg's Movie Talk, where we talk to celebrities from all around Hollywood and such. And it's a ton fun. And this week when this goes live, we are going to be talking to Peter Gallagher. So it should be a ton of fun. And so definitely check us out. And you know what? Until next time, folks, we'll be back in actually a week. We're coming back. This got pushed back. So because somebody had a birthday and,
all right.
So
Melanie's just the problem child all around.
I'm telling you, November and December are terrible because it's Christmas, my birthday, my sister's birthday. Bam, bam, bam.
Bam, bam, bam.
Right.
There you go. So until next time, folks, blame it on Melanie. We'll see you all. Bye. Happy New Year, everybody.
You've been listening to Earth Station Who, a pop culture podcast dedicated to all things Doctor Who, featuring talents from throughout space and time. All topics on the show are the sole opinions of the individuals and are to be used for entertainment value alone. You can subscribe to our show wherever fine podcasts are found, or check out our website, earthstationwho.com. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook or Instagram, and if you enjoyed the show, please write to us at feedback@earthstationwho.com. Thank you so much for listening, and we will see you on the next journey of Earth Station Who.
All right, monkeying around, start talking.
Shiny Clipper calling Alameda. Shiny Clipper calling Alameda.
About your podcast.
We talk about an Emmy-winning comedy series.
We talk about a band who outsold the Beatles and the Stones in 1967.
Still sticking to that story, huh? Well, if you know what's good for you, you'll change your tune.
We talk about a groundbreaking multimedia project
that inspired generations of artists and fans.
All right, throw the book at them.
This book is overdue.
Monkeeing Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
This has been a broadcast of the ESO Network. Be part of the crew and help support our shows by donating to our ESO Patreon or by shopping for the TeePublic store, which can all be found at www.esonetwork.com. The ESO Network, your station for all things geek.